What is going on, everyone? Jim Alexander here with Real Talker, and I cannot wait to discuss Superman and Lois. Yeah, so it happened. So let's see, what am I going to review? We're going to talk about what I just saw, this show that is Superman and Lois on the CW. What's going on the show? Who are these characters? The actors who are playing them. We're going to discuss what worked and what didn't. Actually, I'm going to discuss. There's no one else here besides that poster painting. And then, of course, some spoilers because I just can't hold back. So this, if you're not into spoilers, this might not be a thing for you, but I will delve into spoilers and I guess predictions for the rest of this season. So yeah, we're going to hit that up and boy, do I have a lot of thoughts. I'm going to be candid here if I can for a minute. So let's just jump into it. Right now, here's the trailer for Superman and Lois.
W app.
There it was. Superman and Lois. What did you think? Initially, my thoughts are this. We've seen the characters already in this DC CW world. Obviously, we've seen him through crossovers with Flash, Arrow, Black Lightning, just all the shows that Legends of Tomorrow. There's just been a ton. Stargirl. This has been an ongoing thing. We've seen this Batwoman, right? We've seen these crossovers. We've seen these characters. We've seen Tyler Hoechlin as Superman before, so this is nothing new. We have seen the character already on Supergirl. That's where the initial introduction was done. We also seen Lois, played by Elizabeth Tulloch. So these are not new necessarily characters. But what we do get is some new blood in the series, which I'll get into in a second. First thoughts, Tyler Hoechlin, Elizabeth Tulloch, Superman, Lois. I don't like the fit. I don't think they look aesthetically compatible. In a sense, they kind of look like brother and sister in a weird way. It just, I don't know, maybe it's just me being all weird about it, but I just don't see them as a classic Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane. They just something about them. They're fine actors. I think their acting isn't a problem. I just don't think what we're used to seeing from different Lois's and different Clark Kents, they just seem to be more fitting together in that way that you can watch it on TV or in a cartoon and like, yeah, they look like Lois and Superman and or Clark as you would envision them to. Something about him just seems that they just kind of look similar to, like they look like they'd be family. I'm not trying to be weird here, but I just don't see look wise that they would be a pair for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking that. But that's clearly not what this show is faced with, especially when it comes to, things that should be changed up. So at least they got fine actors. The thing for me, something about Tyler Hoechlin is that he still kind of looks like, in a sense, like a frat boy, like an adult frat boy, like a guy that's a few years out of college, but still kind of got that, in a sense, boyish look. That's fine for Superman and Clark Kent, but not in this world that they're setting up here for this show. Which we'll delve into in a second. I can't wait for that. The problem here with this show is that the introductions we got on the crossovers pretty much didn't set us up for what we're getting with the show. This is a family drama, okay? Literally, they stole the Superman title, moniker, whatever, the character, and applied it to a family drama. This is what this show is. Now, I don't know if it's like CW has, and I've been a proponent of CW shows. I generally enjoy them. I don't know if there's some sort of new management going on, or there's a new, in a sense, mission statement for the network to acquire these new shows, in a sense, these new, I don't know what you want to call them, but they're all seeming to be similar. Let me take an example of Walker, right? Walker, people were aware of the original Walker, Chuck Norris. I mean, it's kind of a classic, right? That still lives on to today. Walker, Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris, bam, that's what you get. Then when we heard about the CW reboot, in a sense, of the show, Jared Padalecki from Supernatural starring as Walker, what has been the complaint so far from the fans, which I hear all the time from? This is a family drama. It is nothing like Walker. Literally, you should have renamed this show or given Jared Padalecki a different character name. Maybe, I don't know, call him Samson or whatever you want to do. Call him Thompson, whatever you want to name him, just so it doesn't correlate with people's minds and their idea of what Walker Texas Ranger should be, right? Because this show is nothing like the original Chuck Norris show whatsoever, but you kind of are hoping for it and envision it because it's got the Walker name. Now, turning to this, Superman vs. Lois. Literally, call it, I mean, Clark and Lois, been there, done that, right? Can't really do that, or Lois and Clark, whatever variation, so they added the Superman and Lois. Take it away. Call it a family of heroes, or a superheroes family. I wouldn't even use that. I don't know what you want to call this show, but it is not a Superman show. It is a ripoff of a Superman character placed into a family drama. Now, if this is a family drama about a family and parents, that's fine. I mean, this is more like a dramatic version of Family Ties, right? Or Growing Pains. Like, for those of you who are a little bit of age. But this is a complete family drama. This is what you would see. Like, this is more Modern Family than it is Superman. Like, legitimately just a more dramatic version, of course, not a comedy. It is a complete dismissal and 180 of what you've seen ever of Superman. So the setup is that and we'll get into also how they showed it and showcased it and depicted it for us, how they introduced us to these characters. But it is basically a grown Superman, right? A daddy Superman, who's already had a successful marriage and relationship and all that of years with Lois, and they're dealing with family life. They have two teenagers, yes, teenagers in high school. Mind you, we're supposed to forget the fact that Tyler Hoechlin is in his early 30s, right? So basically, he'd probably be like 15 when he became a dad to these kids. So maybe this is like an MTV version of Teen Dad, instead of Teen Mom. But it doesn't look right. I'm talking about the aesthetics here again. They just got it jumbled, like completely scrambled up. Like, you won't make me believe that Tyler Hoechlin can play a father to two teenage boys. Like, in high school. It just not believable. Like, it doesn't work that way. This is Teen Wolf, okay? As of like a few years back. Teen Wolf, okay? Tyler Hoechlin. Now he's a father to teenagers? What are we doing here, people? It doesn't work because it's just a complete... It's a make-believe world, right, of Superman, but you can't make me believe that. I mean, that's a far removal. And the way they set it up from the first, basically in 1 minute, you get a recap of about 15 to 20 years of Clark's and Lois's life. It just speeds fast forward as if you were scrolling on and speeding through like a show and you went to like the max, like 32 speed, right? On fast forwarding it, and then just stopped in the middle of a thing and like, well, yeah, here's a little here. They met at a job. First we see him as a baby come on the comet. Next, like immediate scene, it's like a slideshow almost. His father dies, right? And then he suddenly moves to the Daily Planet and in Metropolis, leaves Smallville behind and meets Lois. Oh, wow, they're dating. Oh, wow, they're married. Oh, wow, they have kids. Oh, wow, these kids are now basically young adults. Like, all this is literally given to you in a span of 1 minute, like almost a quick flashback to the life. Wouldn't it be serving a bit more justice to give us a slower burn, maybe? Like, we can see these kids that they cast, right, as Superman's kids, but give it to us maybe mid-season. Let us see someone else play them as kids at least, and get to the point where they're at least teenagers. You can't throw that much history of an iconic character on a brand new TV show, because granted, we didn't get that much of him in these crossover shows. It's not like it's been already seasons of this character established and they're kind of forwarding it. We're getting introduced to this character technically, and to Lois and Clark, and we just bypass their whole history. The title is it's Clark and Lois. I mean, I'm confused all these shows, but Superman and Lois, right? Yet we don't know anything about their relationship because they already have raised teenagers. It's just too fast and ignoring too much history of an iconic character. You can't do that because it doesn't work for a newer audience. That's not even my major problem. So now we get these kids, right? They're twins, don't look alike, but Jordan and Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan Kent, maybe named after his grandfather. But these actors who play them are Alex Garfin, who plays Jordan Kent. Not familiar with Alex. And Jordan Elsas, who plays Jonathan Kent. Wouldn't you just cast him for Jordan maybe? And then he could just go by his real name, whatever. Not a big deal. So these teens are basically the focus of the show. Clark and Lois are secondary, right? They're in kind of the background of what's going on this show. And then we get these kids basically that we're learning about also, and we need to discover all about them. And there's so much packed into this pilot episode. Legitimately too much to handle. But going back to it, I'm frustrated, if you can tell. Like, I'm just frustrated because I am a diehard Superman fan. That's my favorite superhero. And for them to just completely just patchwork this and cut and paste it into a family drama, which I don't feel many people will take kindly to. I think fans of Superman won't really love this show because it kind of rips off the Superman name and legend and places it in this family drama. Now, okay, is there action? No, not really. It's literally pretty dramatic and somewhat sappy, and at least the first episode. Oh, spoiler alert, Martha Kent dies, so they have to go back to Smallville and figure out what they missed out on, right? They moved from the big city of Metropolis. It's like, we've seen these shows, man. We've seen these shows where city people move to these like suburbs or you know what I mean? These are family dramas usually, or farms in this case. And the characters we're introduced to, obviously, Lois, Clark, the two sons, but also we get introduced to a very well-known character in Superman's Clark Kent's world, Lana Lane. Yes, Lana is part of this, and she's married. She's married to a firefighter. Like, this is legitimately ripping off Superman's history and just patching in different careers and making it so family-oriented. And Lana Lang Cushing, that's her last name, Lana Lane Cushing. She's played by Emmanuel Shariki. I'm probably butchering. Basically, if you watched Entourage, it's Sloane from Entourage. It seriously reminded me initially of Nina Dobrev because she had like the hair that Nina Dobrev did, Emmanuel. And yeah, so first I thought it was Nina Dobrev. It's not Nina Dobrev. It's Sloane from Entourage, okay? Which is a fine casting for Lana Lang. But it's like this weird dynamic. Honestly, might be the biggest like dramatic thing about this show might be that maybe there's hidden feelings between Lana and Clark, because we get a little snippet of it, how of course Lana has kids too, two kids, teenage girl, which fittingly is about the same age as the two Kent kids, right? So the teenage girl's name is Sarah Cushing, cushiony name, and India Navarrete is the actress playing her. Also kind of a known actress, at least for me. Maybe I'm sure she's done stuff, but sort of these actors are kind of on the down low, not in sense of terms of their ability, just by recognition and fame, right? So there's that. Eric Valdez plays Kyle Cushing, Lana Lane's husband. And I'm using IMDb actually to remember these names, because these are not familiar names, these actors to me in a sense, and some of these new characters, right? So Lana Lane is basically like an insurance agent in a sense. And I'm not to laugh at insurance agent, it panders so much to this like family dynamic to make him feel so normal and so like everyday people we could relate to. And I feel like this show is like kind of picking at the pandemic in a sense, like, well, we need to give you a nice family drama so we all could relate to and we all could feel good about like family. But it's like, you can do that with a show. Don't make it be Superman, okay? Because we've never seen this incarnation, in a sense, this version of Superman we do now. None of the shows, none of the movies, nothing's been close to this. Even Lois and Clark, not close to what this is. This is a complete removal. So if they were trying to go for shock value, complete removal of what we ever thought of Superman and Clark Kent and Lois, the characters, they've achieved success here because they completely flipped it upside down. You know, like I said, they basically had a family drama. I'm going to keep on repeating it because this is what it is. And they used the Superman name, and that's what they came up with. Now, is it clever, creative? I guess, sure. I mean, you've done a version of Superman and Clark and Lois that we've never seen. So there's that. Kudos for that. Thumbs up, one thumb up, and quickly go back down because it just doesn't hit. Like, Superman's supposed to be action-packed, right? At least somewhat. It's a superhero, but there's very little action, and the basis of this show will be this family. Like, ooh, this is our family lesson. So the general, the army generals, is basically Lois's father on the show, and he comes up with a line. He's basically blaming her for taking Superman away, and reminding her that you might have fell in love with, Clark Kent and married Clark Kent, but you are also married to Superman, right? So another thing, it's like when we get that quick speed up flashback of what's going on, this wrap up, this impromptu wrap up of what's going on this show, we of course automatically learn that Lois knows that he's Superman, completely cool about it, normal, like it's nothing that she's dating the greatest superhero arguably on the planet, and just like a normal guy, right? No big deal. Like her father knows, the general knows he's Clark, so there's not much mystery behind who Clark is, that he's Superman, besides the kids. The kids don't know. They've just been with calling him dad for 16, 17 years of their lives, but yet they don't realize it is Superman, right? And there's a funny scene in the start of the show where Clark goes into Jordan's room, and Jordan's playing video games, and he's basically playing Mortal Kombat, right? And Mortal Kombat character versus Superman. So I think he's Sub-Zero, just like beating the shit out of Superman. So there's a little Easter egg for you there. He's not aware, and Clark makes a funny comment about it, but he's not aware that's his daddy that he's kicking the shit out of with Sub-Zero, right? It's just weird. How would the kids not know? Okay, if Lois is in on it from the start, wouldn't you notice your daddy kind of looks like Superman? I mean, that's been the old age debate, but come on. They're the kids. They should know. So yeah, that's left unknown apparently until later on. Now the kids themselves. So Jordan is kind of the loner. He's not the cool kid. He's not popular. He's got kind of long shaggy hair, and we learn right away that he's dealing with anxiety issues, right? So he's got some mental health things surrounding him that's being completely depicted and diaphragmed for us and made known that, hey, he's got mental health issues. This is a commentary on mental health. Another thing, we don't need that. It's fine and great to do that on series, but not on Superman. It just doesn't fit in. You can't instill these like real life themes and serious illnesses and these sort of things on a superhero franchise in a sense where it just doesn't mesh. It's like oil and water, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't work, okay? It's force fed. It's trying to be cool and fit in with pop culture and themes of like real life issues, serious issues. It's trying to relate to you. Hey, maybe because of the pandemic, we're going to give you a family drama. It doesn't hit. And then, of course, Jonathan is the quarterback, the varsity quarterback of his high school team, the one with a girlfriend. When Clark walks in, he's chatting, he's zooming with his girlfriend. So he's the polar opposite of Jordan. He's the cool brother, and they're twins, but nothing alike. So, of course, you're going to have brother drama there, too. The cool brother versus the nerdy kind of angsty brother that Jordan is, right? Not interested. Just not interested in that. It does nothing for me as a viewer. I'm not interested in that story. I don't know these kids. I don't know these teenagers. We weren't introduced to him. And early on, we see basically Jordan in the barn trying to climb somewhere on a ladder, and a dozen and dozens technically of metal things fall on him, and he finally discovers that he might have superhero powers. So there's that. We learned that one of the kids has superhero powers forming inside of him, and he's just recognizing them. So there's another aspect. So maybe Clark is now the mentor for his son Jordan, that he's becoming a superhero, has superpowers while the other brother doesn't. There's a lot thrown at us at this episode, and none of it really makes sense. It's all over the top. It just nothing meshes. It's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not really entertaining. It's different, sure, yeah, completely. Everything just feels like a left shoe, right? Like a left glove you're trying to put on a right hand. Nothing seems to fit on this series, and that's a problem because I don't have much interest going forward seeing this brotherly relationship evolve and seeing how Jordan's going to develop his powers and be Superboy? Is that the setup here? Get the dog then, mine as well. And we see Lois kind of, I didn't find Lois to be an appealing character. She's like very stern and overly serious and not much of a personality or persona. Granted, she was being kind of ditzy on the other shows and kind of like, oh, a damsel in distress, maybe that's a better word. But on this one, she's referred to as the greatest journalist in the world. So she's apparently the Barbara Walters of this this universe, but yet we see no evidence or sign of it. Nothing. She's not reporting any stories. There's no sign of it. Again, another missed plot hole along the way here. Clark is, we've always knew Clark was nerdy, but here he's just like a father that just keeps on fucking up, basically. Yeah, so he's a dad with parenting issues that needs to find his way, which is very similar to Walker. If you're watching that show, there's so many parallels with Walker here, more so than any Superman show. It's clear what direction CW is going with their shows. It's like this more family, like dramatic drama with not much like this hard kind of sappy uh, storytelling. It just doesn't fit the CW. They've always been edgy and kind of forward thinking on their shows with different characters and things they've introduced, which I've appreciated about it. But this is now a completely very mature demographic they're going for, which is not their demographic really. I don't understand. And using these characters, if you're rebooting shows from the scratch, like I said, Walker's renamed to something else, it's about a ranger doing it, might work better, might be taken better. Uh, Same thing with Superman, but it just doesn't. You try to rest on the tropes of Superman, and it just doesn't hit or fit. Disappointing on that aspect because I expect a lot more. I expected more action. I mean, granted, this is a TV show where you can't expect like Superman movie quality here. I mean, not expecting him to be Henry Cavill here, but man, it just doesn't hit. It's hard to relate to this Clark Superman character. He's not cool really or fun. He's just like a goofy dad that's kind of overwhelmed, you know? I mean, it seems like he's far more concerned being a parent than saving the world, which is fine in theory, right? But not in this universe, right? Superman's supposed to be the hero of the world, the savior of the world, not like the dad that can't parent well, that needs Lois to scold him and kind of teach him about parenting. It's just a mess. It's not entertaining. Later on, we see a villain kind of force fed to us coming out of nowhere, uh, literally looking like the Mandalorian, you know? Yeah, so he tries to. I don't care if I'm spoiling this. I mean, whatever, watch it. I'm assuming you've seen it already. You have similar feelings, maybe. Maybe you love it. Then please explain to me why. But yeah, this Mandalorian guy in a mask, kind of like a Darth Vader character, uh, flying around and having a little. Basically, I felt like it was a fly off with Superman. Like they're flying, like a competition, a fly off instead of a dance off. That sort of sense. Not much fighting. He does stab him with some kryptonite, and of course Clark's fallen all the way from the moon to on top of a car. And just as he's about to hit a car, he suddenly comes back alive. So I guess kryptonite only affected him on the fly downwards, but he's fine. Just so many plot holes that are overlooked, all because the focus is the family dynamic. Get the family dynamic, set up the brothers relationship. Have Jordan Kent, who's figuring out his superpowers, flirt and make out and kiss Lana Lane's daughter. Okay, so that's another little relationship being set up there. Okay, we need the teenage kids from the former lovers that were Clark and Lana now forming their own relationship. Kind of sick and twisted in a way. You look at it, weird. And yeah, there's that weird dynamic between Lana, Lois, and Clark that they kind of showcase and set up here. They're all like working together, like as professionals and as neighbors, but there's some weird vibes going on about that. So basically, by the end, Clark decides the best thing to do is let's move to Smallville. Now, granted, when there's mention of Smallville early on, Jonathan says that's a town that you can basically spend one day in and feel like you've been there a week. So clearly the kids are not in favor of being there. But suddenly, when Clark proposes it, when there's some issues with the land because Martha was not paying her bills apparently and giving away mortgaging her wealth into the neighborhood, now is also that Smallville is described as a deserted town, like it wasn't already. It's a farm town. Okay, whatever. But then Clark needs to save the farm. Literally, I'm not even making this shit up. Okay, like that's what's happening. He needs to save the farm. So let's move back to Smallville, and of course the kids are on board when Lois proposes, "Hey kids, we are moving to Smallville." "Oh, okay, I guess. Well, Jonathan I have my varsity team in school. Oh, we'll figure it out as a family. Okay, cool. So suddenly these big metropolitans are moving to Smallville, and that's where our show's gonna be at. A farm show about a farm town family. Oh yeah, they're superheroes pretty much too. So there's that for it. Unreal. I mean, you couldn't have made up this shit if you tried. So kudos to the writers for that because they really went off the wall, man, with this show. How was the acting? Acting was okay, just fine. I mean, Taylor Hoechlin, different kind of Superman, but for this show, I guess he's okay. He does what his role is, right? He fits that criteria. I'm just not drawn to Lois. I mean, Elizabeth Tulloch does, I think, the best what's written for her character, but just not feeling it. The kids, one angsty one cool one. Mind you, that Jonathan looks nothing like he'd be Lois or Clark's kid. Completely like different looking. He's got like blondish kind of hair, so I don't know where that's coming from, but okay. While the other brother looks completely different with like moppy black hair. So yeah, just didn't look the right way, right? I guess it kind of has to look the right way. But nothing about this show fits or makes sense, so I guess that's great. The kids playing, they're fine. I mean, there's no issue there. Uh, Otherwise, I mean, yes. Oh, by the way, minor big spoiler at the end of the episode, we find out the Mandalorian character in a helmet, Lex Luthor. So there it is. Lex Luthor is now a flying Mandalorian in the Superman universe, whatever you want to call it as. There's that a wrinkle to that. So we have a villain. Didn't seem like a very imposing one in that sense, but it is what it is. Yeah, just a lot of plot holes. I mean, what I like about it, I guess I give him credit for doing something completely different and not sticking to the norm or to the expectations. They really went for it. I mean, it's kind of a boom or bust. I mean, I think it's bust so far, but they took a chance. So you got to kind of admire, respect them going completely in a different direction. But it's just a wrong character. It's a wrong story. It's a wrong character to do all this with. I mean, they should have kind of had an idea, or maybe they will now because they were filming it, I'm sure, with how Walker's been received. And if this is going to be a similar reception, this show is not going to do well. And I wouldn't expect many seasons of it unless they drastically change things because it just doesn't work the way it is. I was disappointed. I was legitimately disappointed. If you can't tell, here I am trying to chill out. I'm laying, being all like casual and leisurely talking to you guys, but I just had to kind of comprehend all this, what I just saw. High expectations, love Superman. This, something else, man. Something else. I don't know if I'll give it another chance for the, next episode. I'm kind of torn. I mean, I'm kind of like, well, I'm decided in the fact that I know what this is and I know where this is going, but I'm torn that if there's any hope with this show, right? I mean, could they do things? Sure, I guess there's something they could do to make it more appealing, but at this point, it's kind of a bummer, right? Then you're gonna really have to instill me with some energy here and action and entertainment because this episode did not deliver on it. Its main sole focus, tell the story of the family, somewhat introduce these characters, basically not introduce, throw them at you because that's how it felt like, and give you all this at once. Oh wow, Jordan's got superpowers, all this. It could have waited a bit. I mean, they could have waited with so much, but they really jumped the gun on a lot here. So not high expectations going forward. This show was a disappointment. If I'm looking to grade it, okay, let me give you a grade. Acting wise, I like to break things down. Acting wise, I would go out of 10, right? So we will go 5.5. I'm going to do the math here as I'm going so we can give a direct score here of Lois and Superman for you. Okay, so we get a 5.5, right, for the acting. As far as, let's say, story, right? Plot, story. How do I feel about that aspect of the show, which is kind of a necessity, right? The plot and the story. Does it hit? Is it entertaining? Well, I'd say the plot and the story's pretty subpar. That's a 5. We're up to 10.5 right now. By the way, there's 5 categories. So then let's go to entertainment. Oh, my favorite. This was not entertaining at all. This is a out of 10. Boy, it's a 3. It's a 3. So we're at 13 right now, right? 5 post. Okay, 13.5. Okay, creativity. How creative was it? Did we see anything unique? I guess you can give some creativity for this because they went, I'll give them credit that they went completely a route we didn't expect. So I'll give that a 7.5. Okay. We'll give it a 7.5. So 13.5 plus 7.5, we're at 21. Final category, creativity. How creative was this show? Did they do anything to, in a sense, get us intrigued, right? To show us something new or different. I mean, they were creative in adding the kids, I can say that. And just the dynamic of it. I'll give it a 5, not a total failure. So we have 26 divided by 50, which is the total of the 5 categories. We have a 52% show here, folks. This is as mediocre as it gets. This is being somewhat generous of it. I mean, I'm just giving it some benefit of the doubt because maybe it gets better in other episodes as more gets revealed. But this is a very subpar, much more so disappointing show, even though it's got like a 50, the grade 52% out of 100. It's probably less after you watch it. But hey, everyone's got their own thoughts. Some of you might love it, actually. So kudos to you. But let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments on this. I'm just bummed out and disappointed that it wasn't what I wanted to be or expected it to be as a fan. And please share your thoughts. Please like. Okay, every like counts. So hopefully, I was trying to keep composed here, by the way. Please like, and most importantly, please subscribe to this channel for more of my, takes and complaints. How about that, right? Me just giving you a review of something that was displeasing, but I also give good reviews too. But if you liked any of this, if this helped you cope in any way, or if you just want to argue with me and you completely don't agree, just subscribe. There's more of this, so appreciate that comment. Yeah, there it was, Superman and Lois. Quite an impression, I'll say that. Unforgettable, not for all the right reasons in every way. I don't even want to delve into more about this show because and just underwhelming for sure. So thanks for joining me today. Check it out. I want you to check it out. I want to see what you guys think of this if you haven't. It's something else, right? And yeah, I'm out of words at this point. So talk to you soon. Make sure to follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter at the Jim Alexander. Also follow Real Talker on social media, Instagram, Twitter at the Real Talker. That's REEL Talker. Check out realtalker.com for plenty more interviews and reviews. And thanks for joining me this time. And I'll be back at it again. I need to chill out. I need some tea or something because Superman might want to make you drink after you watch that. Like non-tea, but I'm going to settle for tea.